Kita nyo guys paano nila gastusin tong pera natin. Gumawa sila ng project na Akap na project sa Dswd na hindi man lang natin alam. 26 billion yung pera na budget nila. Panoorin nyo itong video guys.
Salamat at gusto ko lang humirit. Nagulat din ako sa Akap. At mas
shout
lalo
out
akong
to
nagulat sa
Senador
halaga.
Amy Marcos.
26.7 billion. Isang programa na ngayon ko lang natuklasan at ngayon lang narinig. Pero may bilin dito sa text, all soft projects including Akap must go through the office of the Speaker. Akap, AX, Tupad, MAIP for the PI and other efforts.
Madam
Yes,
Chair.
Senator JB,
Ako rin
please.
medyo naging curious sa AKAP
Saka
na ko
yung
lang narinig.
representative ng DSWD,
siguro can ask
parang
DSWD,
hindi
what is
makasagot
this
ng
program
ano eh.
about? Is it
Straight to the point eh.
just between the House and, kasi wala ho kami sa Senate na
Take
alam
note
niyan.
guys,
So is it
yung pera niyan,
DSWD and
mapupunta kay
the
Speaker
House of Representatives
sa Kongreso.
yung program?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, ACAP is just as foreign to us, technically, as Senator Bato, as it is provided
Yes,
in
Yusek
line
Di Mapuro,
item.
I understand that it's under the DSWD budget. If you recall, in the Senate, I handle the DSWD budget,
Pati mga
but like
senador,
the
hindi nila
COMELEC's
alam
mysterious
na may
addition
AKAP
of
pala na,
12 billion, this 26.7 billion
DSWD.
in the budget of the DSWD is alien to me.
Yes.
Madam Chair, if this WD declares that is foreign to them, saan nang galing itong budget? Baligtad na pala ang budgeting process natin. Ang Kongreso na magde-decide kung anong project i-implement ninyo. Hindi pala kayo ang nagre-request sa Congress na project na papunduhan, program na papunduhan. Baligtad eh.
Madam Chair, it is not an exclusive project or program for Congress. It will be regular program, but it is technically foreign in the sense that it has no guidelines yet.
Yes, Yusek
So
Di
it does not
Mapuro, did you
exist
request
as a
for this
program.
project? Was it in the NAP? It was not.
No.
There we go. Yes. Do we allot sums of money, enormous sums of money such as this, almost 27 billion, for a project or a program that is undefined, unnamed, unfamiliar, with no guidelines whatsoever, with no target beneficiaries, and is just left open? Is this the usual practice in the DSWD?
Not necessarily a usual practice
Not
in the
necessarily.
DSWD.
So sometimes DSWD has these magical projects that no one has ever heard of before.
We don't create magical projects, Madam Chair. These are
But
part
when
of
is
the
it
GAA.
necessary? You said not necessarily. So there are times when it is necessary to invent projects?
There are times when there are necessary projects to
Yes, you have QRF and you have all kinds of emergency
Yes.
assistance. I'm very familiar. Why do you have to invent Akap?
ACAP is not invented. I
But you
believe
just said that guidelines and the purposes had not been established.
yes, guidelines have to go through proper
Ang dami
policy
pang paligoy-ligoy.
procedures. So
Pero
it's not
linagyan na ng
invented out
pera,
of the
walang
air.
nakakaintindi kung paano gagawin, kung kanino ibibigay. Walang kaplano-plano pero may pera na.
Madam Chair, there are programs that are provided by the GAA for NGAs to implement. But before we
Yes,
do
with all
implement,
due
we have
respect,
to...
Yusek, that is not the usual budget process we're familiar with. There's always a very well-defined project or program before a line item magically appears in the GAA. It's fought over, debated, and discussed very, very thoroughly in the subcommittees as well as the plenary. This wasn't.
Madam Chair, we are currently creating the guidelines, and we would be happy to share with...
Parang baliktad naman yata yung buhay natin. Ngayon mag-iimbento ng dahilan, magdi-design ng project, pupunteriya yung mga beneficiary. Pero in the meantime, linagyan muna ng bilyon-bilyon. Yan na ba talaga ang patakaran ng DSWD?
Madam Chair, for programs that are intended for the poor, vulnerable, and disadvantaged, we welcome, obviously, more programs, and we would be grateful to be able to implement these other programs.
I'm familiar with your mandate, but nothing in your mandate indicates that you should be inventing projects and that you are exempt from usual budgetary study and procedure. I'm sorry.
Madam Chair, kaya siguro nagkaganon dahil hindi talaga sa kanila yung programa na yan.
Gagawa lang sila ngayon.
Oo, hindi talaga sa kanila. With due respect lang, in fairness to Yusek Di Vaporo, bago nga yan sa kanya. Sabi nga niya, foreign eh. Hindi niya alam. So, huwag ka mag-alala. We are not faulting you for that. Kaya we are just investigating dahil the usual mangyari is meron ng bahay yung pondo, like AX. Kung sisingit man yung meron mang intervention dyan during the BICAM, ang lower house at saka upper house, the most that they can do is siguro dagdagan yung amount ng AX na yan. Pero may bahay na yan. Pero yung gagawa ng bagong bahay dyan during the BICAM, I don't know how feasible is that. Kaya nga sabi ng aming chairman, it's very magical. Kayo mismo, Dswd, hindi nyo alam na, uy, boom! May
teka.
akap pala na ganito kalaki.
Ito may nabasa lang ako bigla, o naalala ko lang bigla. Sabi ni Yusek,
Ano po yung masasabi ninyo sa budget na yan, sa project na yan ng Akap? Comment below po, comment below para malaman natin yung mga hinaing ninyo. Talagang kinukurakot na yung pera natin na binibigay nating tax para sa gobyerno natin. Kinukurakot na ng sino mang politiko dyan sa Kongreso.